What's up everyone? Welcome back to the Pokemon Hideout. My name is Jesse and thank you so much for being here today. I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. So today I want to talk about the Pokemon card market and its current state. So there seems to have been a leveling off of some of the prices, even a retrace in some of the card prices. And I want to talk about why that probably doesn't matter ultimately. So when I say it doesn't matter, I don't mean that the prices are just going to go right back up and we're just going to continue to see the increases that we've been seeing. What I mean is that if you are in this for the long term, the outlook for Pokemon is still very positive in my humble opinion. I don't claim to be the ultimate authority on Pokemon, but I do think there's a lot of things that are good signs for Pokemon cards. And then also why, even if prices are going down, there is still a lot of opportunity to make money in that market. So we'll start with, let's say you're a collector or an investor and you want to hold your cards for the long term. Now, I'm specifically speaking about like rare vintage cards, but you know, I do think it can apply to some modern product. I just think you have to be a lot more selective with that. And I might do a separate video on modern product, but for now we'll just we'll put the emphasis on the rarer vintage product, like a lot of the WotC product that's hard to find. You know, if you have some of the rare promo cards or trophy cards. So why I think that the outlook is still positive long term is because the interest in Pokemon is still growing, and it's still growing at a very high pace. You know, I know that Logan Paul brought a lot of people into Pokemon, and maybe he's done with Pokemon, but ultimately he still brought a lot of people into it, and he's just one person. The sales for Pokemon have been crazy. It's hard for any stores really to keep any of their product in stock, and even if it's new people that just want the modern stuff right now, you know, some of those people are going to stick around and want to start getting into the vintage markets. You know, a lot of the younger people that are in it now will probably, you know, still remain in Pokemon years from now and want to go back and get some of that vintage stuff. And you know, there's a lot going on with Pokemon right now with their marketing. There's the Olympics coming up, the 25th anniversary. I think these are all, you know, gonna be nothing but positive signs for you know, the Pokemon company moving forward. And it is still ultimately one of the most popular, if not the most popular, collectible franchise to date. So, I mean, not to mention that, you know, it's brought so many people into the Pokemon card market recently. And yeah, some of these people probably are going to leave. Some of these people are here for the short term to make a quick buck, but not all of them, right? I mean, if it brings in, I don't know how many, if it brings in millions of people, you know, some of those people are going to actually get into it and stay with it. And a lot of these people have deeper pockets, which is just you know, a great sign for the prices probably moving forward. Again, nobody knows for sure. Nobody can really predict these prices with absolute certainty, but I do think there's a lot of good signs, you know, in increased demand. You know, if it's the older, rare stuff, you know, there's a limited supply, people having more money in this market, and people coming into this market from other markets, sports cards, you know, artwork, just other collectibles in general. You know, if Pokemon establishes itself as a, you know, established collectible, that's not just a speculative, you know, kids game, but ultimately people look at it like they would look at, you know, maybe a Michael Jordan rookie card or maybe a rare piece of art. You know, it's got a positive outlook there. Now, for people that are just wanting to make money in the short term, maybe they're a flipper, maybe they're kind of a hybrid between a collector and a flipper, prices leveling off or going down isn't necessarily a bad thing. And what I mean is that it presents opportunities. It's not the same as it was when prices were just going straight up and you could just buy something and a couple weeks later it had gone up 50% or it doubled or it tripled or whatever. But it allows you to look for maybe some things that are maybe like a good deal, like something that is priced below market value that you could buy and then perhaps resell. It allows for more opportunities to get win some auctions at a lower price. When the market's super hot and everybody's in it and buying it, a lot of times the auction prices will get driven way up, sometimes even above the buy it now prices, versus if the market's not quite as hot, then the auction prices tend to go for a little bit below, sometimes significantly below what the buy it now prices are or what the market price is. So it does present opportunities to find things at a discount. I think it involves changing your strategy a little bit, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's like ultimately that makes you a better collector or a better business person as a whole if you can adjust to different markets. Like I said, the Pokemon market has fluctuated ever since it came into existence. And right now this is reminding me a little bit of like 2016, 2017, where the prices spiked because of Pokemon Go and everyone was like, oh, the Pokemon Go bubble, Pokemon's done after this, and then prices came down, which is normal. But look at where prices are now compared to then. Look at prices today versus 2016, 2017. They're significantly higher. So I do think it requires some savviness, but like I said, the mark of somebody who is a successful Pokemon dealer or collector or whatever is someone who has stood the test of time and who's been through multiple markets and who's basically succeeded. And I'm not even putting myself in that category. I've only been in it for about 4 years, and so I know there's a lot of people that have been in it for 20 years or at least 10 years, and they've really got that track record and they've dealt with all kinds of markets. But I think it's neat. I think it's a neat challenge now because it's like, okay, the market's changing, and I have to adapt. But it doesn't mean that opportunities aren't there just because everything's not going to the moon price-wise. I think of it like, if you're a baseball player and you hit fastballs really well, but then, maybe you get to the point where you're 11 or 12 and now kids start throwing curveballs and it's like, okay, I have to adjust. I now have to, I have to deal with this new element in this game, and it's kind of either adapt or die. So I think it doesn't, like I said, and actually this can give you an advantage. If you can adapt to this better than other people, you could actually do better than when the market was just on fire. Because when the market's on fire, it's a lot harder to find things at a good price. A lot of that is more of the kind of speculative buying, hoping it continues to go up, versus, now you might have the chance to find something that's undervalued, or something that's overlooked. So, I still think there's a lot of, all that being said, I still think there's a lot of opportunity, even if you are just a shorter term, buy and sell, or you're not holding on to this stuff for 10 years. I will caution people about modern products, because I think that modern product a lot of times is just, it's saturated and there's just so much of it, and people that saw the prices of the vintage product go up are now hoarding or holding on to the modern product. And Pokemon could reprint it at any time, but it doesn't have the same organic collectability that the vintage product had. And I think that's a real, that's a real concern, at least for me. Now, I do think there is opportunity in modern, but I just think you have to be a lot more careful and a lot more selective. And now, on the flip side, there's a lot less risk because you're buying it at retail price, or probably $90 a booster box or whatever. But there is just it doesn't have the rarity. It doesn't have it's back when Pokemon was new, people didn't know to keep things in perfect condition. People didn't know to keep things sealed. Nowadays people do. So it's probably going to take longer for the stuff to go up in price. But also you might get to the point where everyone still has it, with the junk wax era of sports cards. Now, I'm not comparing Pokemon to sports cards. I think it's a completely different situation. But I'm just saying, it carries a lot more risk. So, if you want to invest in modern, I do think there's opportunity. I know that Charlie Herlocker, who is somebody who's been in Pokemon for a long time, he's one of, the best minds out there, said that stop separating vintage from modern and just look at Pokemon as a whole, because there's opportunities in both. And if you try to only limit yourself to one or the other, you're gonna miss a lot. So that's pretty much what I have today. I just wanted to give my thoughts on this and say I'm still very positive about Pokemon in the long run. I would be careful right now with the markets, especially with prices being at what are probably all-time high prices. It's be selective about what you buy. All that to say, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on next time.